we're excited to have Whitney Barr with us today. She's a personal trainer and online wellness coach here on the Central Coast. She grew up in Reading and came down to SLO to attend Cal Poly in 2007. She graduated in 2011 with a bachelor's in business finance with a minor in statistics and industrial technology. And during her time at Cal Poly, she competed on the triathlon team all 4 years.
Whitney stayed in SLO after college and worked in sales and finance while also starting to train and compete in Ironman triathlons. She discovered she loved sales and decided to pursue her passion of triathlon training, coaching others to start moving their bodies and getting healthy. So she studied for the ACE personal training exam and went out to the SLO Country Club to become a personal trainer in 2013.
At that time, she also launched an online coaching business partnered with Beachbody. Since then, she has been building a local team of coaches and helping local women in the area get fit and healthy and loving every minute of it. Whitney married her soulmate, Paul Barr, in January 2019, and they had their first baby, William, in December 2019. She loves being able to coach and stay home and raise her son while also still helping women become their best selves. Let's welcome Whitney.
It seems as though you've always had an interest in fitness or athletics with your triathlon training at Cal Poly. What inspired your fitness enthusiasm?
Oh, I love this question. I really think it started when I was 3. My parents put me into gymnastics when I could start walking. And so grew up just as a competitive gymnast. And then as soon as we could start school and competitive sports, it was like, boom, throw her into everything. So anything with, basketball, softball, soccer, like I gave it a whirl. I went for it and ended up traveling and doing all the competitive sports throughout middle school, high school, and then you get to college and you're like, oh, I want that team aspect. I think I always thrived in school and life when I had a sport that I was playing and a team that I was a part of. And I feel like sometimes you get to college and you're like, oh, where's my team? So that's when I sought out the Cal Poly Tri team. And I had never, of all my sports, I'd never swam, bike, or really run. There was no cross country or anything in my life.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
So random. My brother was on the Cal Poly Tri team, and so he's like, Whit, you got to do it. You'll just love the people. And, it was a love-hate relationship for a while, learning to swim, learning to ride a road bike, learning to run properly.
Yeah.
And but he was right. You fall in love with the friendships and the community and the team aspect. So I guess it just started when I was so young, and I've always wanted that in my life. And now in business, same thing, having a team of people that you're just constantly surrounded by that make you level up has been awesome.
That's awesome. All right. So your business education from Cal Poly must help when managing a startup business. So what hurdles have you had to overcome in building that business?
Ooh, really, really good question. I would say, as a lot of, your probably viewers know, the ever-changing tides of any business. And it could be economic, it could be, social, it could be any of the things. So particularly say in the fitness industry, right? We've seen this major shift from in the beginning of the business, it was all about and especially with even Beachbody, VHS tapes, right? And navigating that space. And really there was when I started my business, there was no Instagram. There was really, I think I had 100 friends on Facebook. I knew nothing about social media. And so I think you come across these hurdles of, one, changing from say VHS to then DVDs to then, okay, all that's gone. Now we got to figure out a streaming platform of how to help our clients in a totally different way. So on top of, I guess, the changing of technology, I think you just come across a shifting of trends as well. And, in business and in college, we just learned of like, you got to be flexible, but you also have to constantly keep learning. And that's why I kind of loved Cal Poly. It was always that like learn by doing, and you're never going to have it all figured out. You just kind of have to jump in and ride the wave as you go. So learning the trends of social media and how those are always changing. So I tell my team, and then I just try and always just be a student myself and always learning. I have failed so many times at so many things in business, but I call it failing forward. You just kind of dust yourself off and keep rocking and rolling. And I think the latest thing that hit the fitness industry was obviously COVID-19.
Yeah.
And how to navigate that space when there's no more in-person training. And we, took a huge hit in the small group space as well, and teaching small group fitness and transitioning everything to now Zoom workouts and online, and all of our clients being at home.
Right.
So it's so different, and I think it's going to continue to change. But yeah, it's so many hurdles that you are, I guess, honored to go through as an entrepreneur, but sometimes you do. You like bang your head against the wall thinking, it's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Before
like
you realize yeah. Oh, well, yeah, it is like parenting. Just when you've got it all figured out.
Just when you think you got it dialed, then the child changes.
Yes. Okay, so you have a game plan that can get us started on the right foot. Can you tell us about your 5 things to do on Sunday to set your week up for success?
I would love to. And these 5 have kind of been things that I've slowly added in as I went, so if you have kind of no game plan, whether you don't have a morning routine or you don't kind of have a structure to your business, or you're just getting started in maybe this space of bettering yourself or bettering your business, I just say like, start with one thing and tackle one bit at a time. So my 5 have been over time. They've developed. So I'm going to give you guys the 5. I would say the first 3 are super easy peasy to implement. And then those last 2, I would say, are the biggest needle movers, the biggest life changers, as you can start to implement them into your life. So number 1, and these are things I teach my team members, my coaches, and also my clients. And I think they can pertain to no matter what profession you're in, just as a human, all of these things can help. So number 1 is just meal prepping and grocery shopping on a Sunday. And some of my clients even take this one step further and they do a Saturday, but really taking that weekend time when things are a little bit calmer for most people, getting everything dialed in your calendar and in your fridge. So I map out on Saturday everything we're going to have for the week. And then on Sunday, I can hit the grocery store. You guys know when you don't go into the grocery store with a list, you end up buying the whole dang place. So going in with a list of exactly what you're going to have, I think not leaving the week to chance. And especially now with a 1-year-old, I learned just how, things are always changing. Things are always moving. And if I don't have something prepped, if I don't have my salads prepped, if I don't have quick snacks ready to go, those are the weeks that you fall off track, right? Those are the weeks that you stop taking care of yourself. You run through the fast food real quick. You grab the box of Cheetos instead of the quick, carrot sticks that could have been chopped up. So just easy things that you can do on a Sunday would be things like boil up some hard-boiled eggs, a quick protein source that you can grab, even cook up some chicken breast. If you're eating dinner on Sunday night, throw in some extra protein, or during the summer, throw it on the grill. And that way you're going to have stuff that you're ready to just kind of pick off. You can throw the chicken on salads throughout the week. And you can also just do like chop up some veggies, get some brown rice going in the rice cooker on the stove. And these are just things that you can grab that are healthy options throughout your week, so that you don't have to do the drive-through, and then you can stop reaching for the crappy snacks, especially when we're kind of all quarantined at home, and those snacks are so easy to get to. So that's my fun. Do you guys meal prep and grocery shop on Sundays?
I do exactly what you just described. When I do it, it's all dialed in, and when I don't do it, it's terrible. So we have gotten really good at the protein for the week. So we have some protein that is always in the fridge that can go on some arugula or go on some, in something else. And then my son, who needs more calories than we do, he's 14, he puts his in ramen and stuff like that so that he gets those carbs. So
I love that. And I
yeah.
think that it makes you not a short order chef too, because you've got the stuff and then he can throw it in what he needs to. Or if you have a hubby that likes something different than you do, at least the ingredients are there.
Right. Yeah.
So smart. All right. So number 2 is, and this one seems a little weird, but it's so easy to do and so easy not to do. And this one's clean your car. So interesting. And this kind of science behind it. If you're looking for a great podcast, I heard this tip years ago on a podcast called Mindset Mentor by Rob Dial. And he goes over this idea of everything in our life is either a heck yes or it's a heck no. And he uses a different 4-letter word instead of heck. So if you're listening with kids, like earmuffs for them when you're listening to that. He goes, it's the same thing for your car. And how symbolic, I guess it is, a car is. So every appointment you go to, say you're driving to work, every meetup, even the mommy group meetups, you show up better as a human being, or in our case as women, as wives, as mothers, as, business owners, when we feel good. And we feel good when, in my opinion, things are kind of put together. They're clean. You're not driving around, with a bunch of trash in your car and all the dog hair. I have multiple dogs. And so over the weekend, the car can just become a disaster zone. And so important in my mind to reset so that I'm showing up professionally and feeling better, going into every meetup, every situation that I'm about to enter into that coming week. So my best tip that really changed was when in SLO, when that quickie car wash hit, and you could grab a little fast pass, and that's, you pay just they pull it out of your bank account every month. So it was like, oh, I'm gonna just go through this car wash as many times as a week. I want to get my money's worth. But you can just and it's free vacuums after you go through. So just take a hot sec. I would say every Sunday, drive through that car wash, get feeling clean, which kind of leads me into number 3, and that's just cleaning up your space. So for a lot of us now, that space, our workspace, is our home. So up your home, and especially as a mom, I think we spend so much time at home now. And how often are you kind of trying to get work done during the week, but you see the bomb that went off in your office or kid room or the living room, like, oh, I'll get to my work, I'm gonna go clean this up real quick. So if you can start the week with those clean spaces, the productivity just goes right, so much higher throughout the week when you don't have to tackle those. Now, granted, I do live with a 1-year-old. The spaces are going to get dirty throughout the week for sure. But if you can at least start the week on a fresh, clean note, same thing. You're showing up better as a wife, as a mom, less stressed. And I think when our environment is clean and tidy, it makes us feel like our brains are a little cleaner and a little tidier.
Agreed. I'm one of those, and I can't start anything like writing down, doing an article for our blog or something if I'm sitting down at a messy space. It's like it's too chaotic in my peripheral vision or something like that. Yeah.
Yes. And those distractors that make us not show up as well as we could, I think, are clutch.
Yeah.
And on that point, I learned a long time ago, if there's a way, if you are not a clean person, this is not your forte, if there's a way you can even outsource something like this to where maybe every other week you could have somebody come in and spend a few hours helping you clean up your space and taking that piece off of your plate. I found, long ago, it was like, here I was making $25 an hour at the beginning of my business, right? As an entrepreneur, I'm like, I could pay somebody at that time. It was like $18 to $20 an hour to clean. And so I was like, I could make more doing work and, being a business, getting my work done than I could cleaning my space.
Yeah.
And so don't be afraid. I thought that was so like, nose
extravagant.
in the air. I had to like hire a cleaning person. But when you're giving somebody an amazing job that they want to do. So, and then it just helps you kind of focus on what you're good at. So
cleaning my husband.
Yes. You can always delegate.
Yeah. And that's a common thing in our business is they tell you to figure out your hourly value like you just did. And is it worth more to you to be cleaning a toilet or making some calls to clients? It's true, right? If there's someone that can do that for you. Yeah.
So true. And I figured out I could spend those 3 hours cleaning, or what if in those 3 hours I could make a sale, or I could help a person get started with a challenge pack, or whatever your thing is in your business that could pay for that cleaning hour. Plus you'd be maybe a little bit in the green. You might be profitable in those 3 hours instead. So you're so right. I love that you guys have that in your business as well.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 and 5, I would say, have been the big game changers. And number 4 is time blocking your week. So I have a planner that I really love. This I got from Brendan Burchard. It's his high performance planner. And this is really a neat planner because it does weekly overviews, monthly overviews, nightly questions, morning questions, just to help you kind of get in a high performing space in your brain. Helps you level up your game as well. And every half hour, there's a little line where you can write in what you have going for the week. So I like to do this on Sunday, as we've been talking about. And on Sunday, you might not know everything that's going to happen in your week, but you could go through and block in the things that you do know you have to get done that week. Appointments, taking the kids to gymnastics, whatever your to-dos that have to go in, those go in. And I challenge you to add into that have to category your time for self-care. So mapping in your half hour that you're going to spend moving your body, your half hour that you're going to spend, or 10 minutes before bed that you're going to be stretching, the 10 minutes early in the morning where you're going to be meditating before your day starts. Like the self-care pieces, if we don't block those in, those tend to be the first thing that go out the window. And I find that with so many of my clients, they tell me, Whit, I don't have time to work out. I go, all right, well, let's time block your day. Like show me exactly what you do throughout your day every half hour. And then we start to find these little gaps where they go, oh, I could work. Oh, I've been Netflixing it. Or, oh, I didn't like that. I spent that much time doing that. Maybe I could stretch before bed. So taking the time to put in the things that matter to you, the things that are important in your business, but also the things that are going to take care of your health and your mental health as well, I think are massive. So going through in your planner and doing that has been a total game changer just in my life and in so many of my clients' lives for sure. I think Rachel Hollis said it best. She said, there's nothing on your calendar that you don't allow to be there. And it was like a gut check for me when I heard that for the first time, because I thought, no, surely there's things in my planner, in my day that, I just have to do whether I like them or not. And that wasn't the case. Like everything in our life, we allowed to be there. We're allowing everything in our calendar to be there, which kind of brings me to my second challenge, and something that I've challenged my clients and coaches to do is, as you go with time blocking your week, as you're jotting down the things you have to do, I challenge you to start thinking about, is there anything in here that I could maybe take out that doesn't bring me joy? Is there anything that I could start to, phase into my life that does bring me joy? And when I was in corporate America, before I started, becoming an entrepreneur, I realized like 80% of my life was spent doing a career that I was not passionate about. And to spend that many hours of my life doing something that wasn't a heck yes, How scary, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that? So I'm not saying go quit your job tomorrow or go put in your 2 weeks, but what if in your calendar, and you have kind of those year at a glance calendars, what if 6 months from now you could circle a date on there that said, 6 months from now, I'm going to leave that thing that doesn't make me happy. And you could start to, put into action a plan of either phasing out of a job, or maybe it's, I really don't like the PTA and it's really not serving me. How can I phase out, and enter those hours that now I have back into my life, that I can do things that bring me joy, so that you can live that kind of high performance life, and you live those days that you just look forward to waking up and doing every day. So
yeah, it's hard because I think all three of us are high energy yes people. So we get asked to do things because people know that most times we'll say yes. And I did what you are saying. I concluded my giving energy to something that wasn't giving me joy or any kind of return. And so I did that at the end of December, and it's huge. So it's just a nice thing to do, to finally say no to something.
And I think they say that it was the things that Steve Jobs and Apple said no to that made them successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be far more things that, as you get more and more successful and more people want you, and you're in demand and your time's in demand, that you're going to have to be really clear on where you're going, where you're headed, and does this align with the life that I want to live? And if it doesn't, if it's not a heck yes, it's a heck no.
That's awesome. I love that.
I do like that.
I would say protect that calendar at all costs. So
yes, it's true. It's true. It's limited.
Yes, it is. It totally is. And my last one is visualization. And this one was the last one that I've adopted, because I always thought it was a little bit like voodoo, or like, burn the incense candles or things and just, right? It was so not me. But I started thinking back, and also you'll find, I think, as you listen to a lot of PD and a lot of people who are in really amazing place in their life, or people who have achieved the things you want to achieve, a very common thread I was finding was a lot of them meditate in the morning. Mm-hmm. And so it just kept like hitting me again and again and again. And this idea of visualizing your week. So on a Sunday, visualizing your highest self going through your week. And this works kind of growing up in the athletic world. And I never put the two and two together. But, growing up playing golf, it was like we were taught, you step back behind your ball, you look at the fairway, you look at the green, you visualize where the shot is going to go, and then you step up, you swing, and you go through. And you talk to every professional golfer, from Phil Mickelson to Tiger Woods, they're like, yes, of course they visualize. Same thing before a big triathlon meet. We visualize the race, from getting out of the water to slipping on our bike shoes to a flawless mount onto the bike, and then a flawless dismount onto the run, right? And then I think here's the piece that makes a difference. Not only visualizing a successful week or race, but what happens when the flat tire happens, or you hit the golf shot into the woods or into the sand, right? So symbolically, in your week, what happens when, poop hits the fan, right? And I say, like, on a Sunday, okay, so I've mapped out my week. Where could things potentially go wrong that could create stressors in this, schedule? Maybe it's the kiddos, or something with school doesn't work out the way I want. Ask yourself this question: how would my best self show up in that moment? And how can I show up in that space to being my best self if these kind of things fall off the rails a little bit? And I think when we visualize everything going really well, it's kind of like future proofing your week. So visualizing everything from like your date night with your significant other going really well, and you guys having deep, meaningful conversation, and visualizing the things that you want to have happen. But also, okay, these things could be little roadblocks that could come in the way. How would my best self show up for that? And I think that makes us be proactive instead of reactive in our weeks. And you are starting to show up as the person that you want to become. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the big 5.
I love it. That's fantastic. We know what we're doing this Sunday.
I know. We'll hold each other accountable, Ashlea.
Exactly.
When I shared these on
Instagram,
I shared them on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I said, tag me if you guys do any of these things, to my audience.
That's awesome.
So now I'm getting tagged when people are going through their car wash on Sunday.
I have a quickly pass, so I'm going to go Sunday, apparently.
There you go, Jordan. Jordan needs all the car maintenance she can get. She has 3 boys trying to destroy her car at all times.
All times.
So. You are my mom goals.
It's a lot of energy and a lot of fun.
That's a great segue, though, because in closing, we have to mention the ridiculously cute star of your Instagram show, your baby William. And now you've been featuring him in some healthy cooking segments, and they are hilarious. I just love watching him get messy. So tell us about that inspiration.
Oh my gosh, it came from a few different areas of my brain one day. One, the joy of being a stay-at-home working mom during COVID is they take away all of your abilities to go out and do things with your kiddos that you typically would have. Play dates, parent participation, library reading time. So we had to get creative, and it was us sitting at home one day, and I was making up, we call them Shako cookies for Paul. He loves them. Every week we were making up our big batch of those, and William was trying to put his hands in them. I was like, ooh, this could be fun. Okay. Who cares? At the worst, it's going to make a massive mess, and at the best, you're going to have an awesome time.
Right.
It started as just a way for us to kill some time and have a blast. And I also have just seen the power of, other moms that that have the fortune of helping in their kind of health journey. I watch them start cooking healthy and watch what their kids, the impact it's having on their kids. And one of my moms, both her sons were overweight when we started. And now they've both like completely leaned out. They eat healthy with mom. They encourage her to cook healthy. So we see that our kids watch everything that we do.
Yeah.
So I thought, this could be a neat way for him to experience, a little bit of healthy cooking. And of course, babies, everything goes in the mouth. So I thought, he might try some healthy foods during the process. Now, don't watch yesterday's or today's episode where he's making a birthday cake. That wasn't so healthy, but
you have to have balance.
Yeah, you do.
He's also going to have no fear of the kitchen, which is great because, he will be confident to go in there, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't come out just perfect. I'll try it anyway, So that's awesome.
Feel like I'm raising him for his future significant other, right? You're like, all right, I got a guy who can cook.
Yeah. Next stop on that train is laundry.
That's next. But, awesome. Just kind of at the end of the day, I've always, since I started this business, and if you are starting a business or trying to jump into the social media game, one thing that served me really well in the very beginning was just my goal was show up every day with a little piece of positivity. And I thought, all right, once we made our first video, I thought there's nothing that couldn't make somebody smile more than a baby trying to cook. And so it just turned into, just another positive thing that we could share maybe once a week or every other week, just to bring a smile to somebody's face, especially when things sometimes aren't as happy in the world. Just, being that source of positivity for people and a light can move mountains. So if you're trying to tackle social media, I just say, show up positively, and I think your audience will respond really, really well to it.
Agree. Well, awesome. So many fabulous tidbits to take away from this. Thank you so much, Whitney.
Yeah, thanks,
It's been
Whitney.
awesome
Have
chatting
fun.
with you.
Thank you. So good to talk with you, ladies. We'll talk soon.
Exactly. And then tell people where they can find you on Instagram so that they can find you.
Yes, on Instagram, my handle is at Fit by Whit, just like it sounds. FITBYWHIT. So Fit by Whit.
All right.
All right.
Follow
Thank
it.
you so much. Thanks for taking time away from your trip.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Ashlea Boyer,
Jordan Hamm
with the Pismo Beach Homes team.